They exiled him to a rock in the sea. No trial, no crime, just a tyrant who feared what this man could do with words alone. The island had no fresh water, no shade, no comfort. Other prisoners arrived and broke within weeks, weeping, begging, wasting away. But this one man did something that confused everyone watching. He got stronger, calmer, sharper. And here's the question that should bother you. How does a man lose everything, get dumped on a barren island, and somehow become harder to break than the soldiers who put him there? The answer is a 3-step code, and once you understand it, you will never look at pressure the same way again. His name was Musonius Rufus, Rome, 1st century. He was not a soldier, he was not a king. He was a teacher of philosophy, which, in the age of Nero, was one of the most dangerous jobs a man could hold, because Musonius taught something the powerful could not stand. He taught people how to stop being afraid of them. Think about that. A teacher with no army, no money, no title, and the most powerful men in the known world wanted him gone, not because he plotted against them, because he was unshakable, and nothing terrifies a tyrant more than a man he cannot frighten. So Nero banished him, sent him to Geros, a small, dry, miserable island in the Aegean Sea, a place so harsh that being sent there was considered a slow death sentence. The Romans used it the way we might use a maximum security prison in the middle of a desert. You went there to be forgotten, to wither, but Musonius did not wither. While other exiles lay on the ground cursing their fate, he started exploring. He searched the island. He found a hidden spring of fresh water that no one believed existed, and in doing so, he saved the lives of every prisoner there. Then he did something stranger still. He began teaching on a rock. In exile, to anyone who would listen. Students actually sailed across the sea, risking the emperor's anger just to sit with him on that barren island. And this is where it gets strange, because Musonius did not see the exile as a punishment at all. He saw it as something he had been training for his entire life. He once said that exile had never harmed a single good man, that it only takes away the things that were never truly yours to begin with. Your location, your possessions, your comfort. None of it, he insisted, could touch the part of you that actually matters. But how? How do you actually believe that when you are starving on a rock in the sea? That sounds like something a man says before he cracks. Except Musonius never cracked, not on the island, not the first time he was exiled, and not the second. So there had to be a method underneath it, a system, and there was. Before we get to it, you need to feel why it matters, because this is not really a story about a Roman on an island. You have felt this, maybe not exile, but the morning you did not want to get out of bed because the weight of the day felt heavier than your body. The message you stared at for an hour, too afraid to send. The moment in the meeting when your voice shook and you hated yourself for it. The argument where you said nothing, then replayed it for 3 nights straight. We all have a breaking point, a level of pressure where our composure shatters and something more primitive takes over, and most of us spend our whole lives carefully avoiding that point. We arrange our lives to never be tested. Comfortable job, comfortable routine, comfortable distractions the second discomfort appears. And here is the trap almost no one sees. The more you avoid pressure, the lower your breaking point drops. Comfort does not make you strong. It makes you fragile in slow motion. Every avoided hardship is a withdrawal from an account you will desperately need later. So by the time real pressure finally finds you, and it always finds you, you have no reserves left. You break at the first push. Musonius understood this almost 2,000 years before modern psychology gave it a name, and his 3-step code was designed to do the exact opposite of what most of us do. Not to avoid the storm, to become the kind of person the storm cannot move. So what was step 1? It was the part that sounds almost cruel at first. Musonius taught that you must voluntarily practice hardship before hardship is forced upon you. He called it training, askesis, in the Greek, and he was relentless about it. He told his students to deliberately go hungry sometimes when food was available, to feel cold when they could have been warm, to choose the harder bed, the longer walk, the colder water, not as punishment, as rehearsal, because here was his insight. The body and the mind are like soldiers, and a soldier who is only ever trained in comfort will run the moment real danger appears. But a soldier who has rehearsed discomfort 1,000 times in practice feels something strange when the real battle comes. Familiarity. He has been here before. His nervous system does not scream. It settles. This is the part almost no one realizes about strength. It is not built in the moment of crisis. It is withdrawn from a reserve you built long before. Musonius did not become unbreakable on the island. He became unbreakable in the years of small, chosen difficulties that came before it. The island was just the exam. He had been studying for it his whole life. And modern science is now catching up to exactly what he understood. Researchers studying resilience have found a principle called stress inoculation. The idea that controlled, manageable doses of stress actually build the nervous system's capacity to handle larger stress later. It is the same reason a vaccine works. A small survivable exposure teaches the body not to panic at the real thing. There is even research on what happens when we deliberately expose ourselves to cold, to fasting, to physical strain. The body releases stress, recovers, and adapts, coming back stronger than before. Scientists call it hormesis. Musonius just called it Tuesday. But he knew that physical hardship alone was not enough. Plenty of strong men have iron bodies and glass minds. So step 1 was only the foundation. Step 2 is where the real transformation happened. And it is the step that separates people who merely endure pressure from people who become untouchable under it. Step 2 is this: separate what is yours from what is not. Musonius drilled into his students one brutal, liberating distinction. There are things within your power and things outside it. Your reputation, not fully yours. Other people control their opinions. Your possessions, not yours. They can be taken in an instant, as his were. Your body, your comfort, your circumstances, even your lifespan. Borrowed, conditional, outside your true control, but your judgments, your choices, your response to what happens, the way you meet this exact moment, then, and Musonius was absolute about this, is yours and yours alone. No emperor can touch it, no exile can take it, no insult can stain it without your permission. Do you see what this does under pressure? When the storm hits, most people pour all their energy into the part they cannot control. The outcome, the other person, the thing that already happened. And that is why they shatter. They are fighting a war on ground they can never win. But the trained mind does something different. It pulls back instantly to the 1 square foot of territory it actually owns, its own response. And on that ground, it cannot lose. This is the morning you did not want to rise, and rose anyway, because the rising was yours. This is the message you were afraid to send, and the fear was outside your control, but the pressing of the button was not. This is the shaking voice in the meeting, and you cannot command your nerves to be still, but you can choose to keep speaking. Strength was never the absence of pressure. It is the decision to act inside the part that belongs to you, while the storm rages in the part that never did. Which brings us finally to the question we started with. How did a man lose everything and become harder to break than his captors? Now you have the answer. He had trained his body to feel at home in hardship. Step 1, he had trained his mind to release everything that was never his. Step 2, and then came Step 3, the one that sealed it all. Step 3, act for the good of others, even now, especially now. This is the part people miss entirely. On that island, in his own ruin, Musonius did not turn inward and rot. He found water for strangers. He taught. He gave, because he understood the deepest secret of pressure, that suffering turned inward festers, but suffering turned toward purpose transforms. The moment you are serving something larger than your own comfort, fear loses its grip. You stop asking what is happening to me and start asking what can I do from here? And that single shift is the difference between drowning and swimming. So here is what you can do tonight. Choose one small, deliberate hardship, just one. Take the cold end of the shower. Skip the snack you do not need. Walk when you could ride. Sit with one uncomfortable feeling for 60 seconds without reaching for your phone. It will feel pointless. It is not. You are making a deposit. You are inoculating your nervous system against the day that truly tests you. Then, when the real pressure comes, you draw on that reserve, and you ask only one question: what part of this is actually mine? You act there. and you find one small way to be useful to someone else, even mid-storm. That is the entire code, running in real time. Musonius lived through exile twice. He outlasted the tyrant who banished him, and he died not as a victim of his circumstances, but as a man who proved that the deepest part of a human being is the one thing the world can never confiscate. Here is the truth that Rock in the Sea was trying to teach all along. You will never control what life sends. You were never meant to. You only control how you meet it, and that, fully trained, is enough to make you unbreakable. So the next time pressure comes for you, do not brace to survive it. Step toward it. Somewhere inside you, a reserve is waiting. Start building it tonight. And if this gave you something worth keeping, stay a while. There is far more of this ancient strength still to uncover.